if I'm going to sell feet pics, which the answer is, hey guys, welcome to Too Personal. I'm Joy Taylor. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit subscribe and follow us on social media at Too Personal Show. It's been amazing being back. I really loved having Les Alfred last week and doing my rants. I've been told that my rants were very excitable last week. Not as a criticism, but just listen, if you've been here a while, I'm a lot. So some days I come in here really fired up. Sometimes I'm a little more introspective. That's what we got for you today. But the rants are really just about what's happening, what I think about what's happening, what I'm going through. And that's why we call it Too Personal, because we're going to get into it. We're going to get into what's happening with me personally. So, of course, we'll also talk to you during Never Too Personal later on. But, it was Coachella. It was Coachella, first weekend of Coachella this past weekend. I went to Coachella a couple years ago. I would not do that again unless I was going to see like one particular artist. The energy is not the same for me, but I love it. I love seeing the outfits. I love seeing the girlies. I hope everyone had a great time. And we all watched Bieber. We all watched Bieber put together what was a bit of a controversial performance. I enjoyed it. And my interpretation of Bieber's performance was that it was a bit of him grieving his former life and his former career path and the way that he used to show up in the world and for fans and perform. And, there's a lot of nuance to these performances. You can have your own opinion about it. But what I bring it up is because it made me think about my own grief that I'm dealing with right now. And I had a lot of feelings of grief this weekend, and I'm processing different types of grief. And when we talk about grief, we always, of course, go immediately to death and grieving a loved one or grieving a pet. We don't really get into the entirety of what grief and the word grief means. And grief is a very big word. It's a big word, like love, like hate. Grief is an experience that is very deep and complicated. It can be all encompassing. It can be consuming. It can come and go quickly. It's very complicated. And I'm grieving in the very real practical way. And I'm grieving in a very nuanced way right now as well. So I'm grieving a friend. My friend Shirley died earlier this year. She was someone that I was very close with, someone that I shared a lot of spiritual connection with. We did a lot of work together and, shared a lot of traumas and deep conversations together. And, her loss was very public and required a lot of me personally when it happened. And I'm coming down from that and kind of processing what it means for me moving forward, because a lot of what her and I did together was sort of part of my spiritual journey. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that if you've been following me for a while, I'm off the organized religion bandwagon right now, and I really find my connection to spirituality in giving back to other people. And so that's a deep loss for me, and it's something that I've been processing and grieving in the real practical way that we normally associate with grief in losing a person. But I'm also grieving other things as well. I'm grieving my routine of my career that has been in place for almost 20 years. For a very long time, I was on a live show 5 days a week. And that was my life. Like every day doing something, if not the same, very similar from the time that I was in Miami up until last August. And that's a monumental change. Essentially, my entire career, even when I was working as an intern, was a 5-day-a-week live show, either radio or television. And adjusting to that, embracing the new way that I'll be living my life right now, and what it means good and bad for me, because I am a routine person. I'm somebody who needs a routine, who likes a routine. And so I'm grieving I'm grieving that. I'm grieving my reputation. I went through a lot. And no matter what I say or do, it's kind of like a broken mirror where like I can put it back together, but there's just always going to be some parts that you see that are broken. There's always going to be some people who believe what they want to believe. And I've made my peace with that, and I made my peace with that very early. But there is some grief attached to that for me. It's not a simple thing. Making peace with something doesn't mean that you have, at least to me, doesn't mean that you are completely resolved to the results of those choices. And I'm grieving the person that I was before last year. I was really in a different space as a human. I had done a lot of work on myself. I had reached a point where I really felt like I wasn't surviving anymore. I was thriving, and I let my guard down. And I think everything hit me a little harder because of that. When you move through the world expecting bad things to happen, you're more prepared for them. Now, that's not a soft way to live. It's not a relaxed way to live. But I do know that a lot of people who live that way because they've had to live that way prefer that. I don't prefer it, having experienced the other side, but I now know it'll be very difficult for me to ever be back over there again. It took me my entire adult life to get there, and some years of my childhood. And yeah, I didn't like how I felt. I didn't like how that hit me. And I think with any traumatic thing you go through, you change. And some people will tell you, okay, you don't know how you're going to change. Maybe you'll change for the better. Maybe it'll make you this or it'll make you that. And I want to believe that, but being someone who's gone through a lot of different traumatic things, I don't know that the trauma made me better. It made me different. It gave me different perspective. I guess in some ways it gave me empathy for certain people because I had gone through the same thing. But if I look at it from a grand, bigger perspective, I wouldn't have preferred to go through those traumas. Now, I love the person that I am, and I love my life. And listen, shit happens. You just don't have control over it. Everyone is going to go through things in life. You don't get to decide. It's not a vending machine of what you get to experience. And everybody has different things that they experience. So trauma is just it's a very complicated thing. And it is attached to grief in a lot of ways because you can't go back. Once you've experienced something that jarring, you just won't be the same again. It's when you lose someone extremely close to you. Yeah, you're going to keep living. You'll experience love and happiness again. You can experience the fullness of life, but you are going to be different. The world is different. Your experiences are different. The pain that you felt has taken something from you, and that's just the human experience. And if I'm really honest with myself about how I feel right now, moving through the world, still loving people, still having friends, still having relationships, still having to trust, still being a front-facing person, still being somebody that, attempts to be vulnerable, I have PTSD. I can feel myself being triggered by certain stories that I read on the internet, certain songs that I hear, certain experiences or comments from people will immediately put me back into that mindset and space. And it's I've dealt with things like this in the past and experiences like it. It's a bit more unique, but I'm 39 years old. I'm coming into a new chapter, not just as a person, but as you age as a woman, you experience different things than you do as a young woman, and you're more aware of yourself in a lot of ways, and in a lot of good ways as well. I definitely feel more confident in my body, in how I show up, in what I believe in, and what I stand for, all of those things, and what I want. But it's different. It's a change. And I think just when we talk about grief, yeah, of course, there's, losing a person is to me, the highest point of grief. But within that word lies all these other different things. And I started with talking about this with watching Bieber's Coachella performance, because when you take the time to look at the person that you were and the way that you looked at the world and the decisions that you made at the time and the people that you had around you at a time and all of the things that happened to you or happened for you, it can really give you a different perspective on things. And it can help to give you some clarity, which I think is a journey that you try to reach for within grief. I think it helps to give you some grace for yourself, which is a big part of processing grief. And it helps you to pivot. It helps you to make different decisions, advocate for yourself more, be more precise about your choices, who's around you, what kind of energy you give, what kind of energy you receive, how you show up in the world. And I know that's something that I'm deciding still. And as I process these various, things and experiences that I'm grieving, I don't know that I can truly decide who I'm going to be, because I don't know. And I don't know that I'll be a better person. I don't know that I'll be a more forgiving person. And honestly, I don't even know that I care that I will be a better or different person in a more positive way. I care about protecting myself at this point, and I'm very unapologetic about that in this particular chapter. Advocating for myself. If I don't feel good, it can't be around me. And, we can get into the word selfish on another day, but I've always said that being selfish is not always a negative thing. And I think if you are going through something similar to what I'm describing, being selfish, I think, is a very essential part of the grieving process if you're going to come out the other side. And you probably won't come out the other side completely full. At least I don't anticipate that I will. Some people do. Some people harness all of the things into this ball of positivity. I don't know that I totally trust that. I know that there's still dark phases of that, and I think that that's probably already part of your personality. If you're someone who does that, obviously I'm not. I'm more of a Daria than I am a ball of sunshine, despite my name. But yeah, it's a process, and it's something that I'm dealing with personally. I felt a connection to that performance in that way from Justin this weekend at Coachella. And yeah, I mean, it's a reality that a lot of people, everyone is going to deal with grief at some point in their life in some way. And, how you approach it, I think, should be something that is very personal to you. So that's what I have for you today. Make sure that you leave me your comments about how you have processed grief and how you've found ways through it and what you feel like now that if you are on the other side of it. So I want to get to our never too personal today. Had to have a little balance in the show, okay? Because that was a lot. It was a lot. What I just said was a lot. It was a mouthful. So we're gonna sprinkle a little positively, a little yin and yang. So I liked this question from our never too personal family. What is your greatest joy at the moment? Which I thought was so nice. It was such a nice question compared to asking me if I'm going to sell feet pics, which the answer is currently no. I'm not ruling it out in the long term, but right now there are not feet pics available for sale. So you can stop asking about that. What is your greatest joy at the moment? Honestly, my nieces and nephews make me so happy. I'm so proud of them. They are my children. I do not have children. I do not want them, but I love my nieces and nephews so much. And I love seeing the older ones living their lives, having their success, starting their own families, them getting inspired creatively, changing their career paths, pivoting, growing. And then the young ones, it's so exciting to see kids grow up, right? And they kind of show their personalities early, and then as they fill into who they're going to become, it's so funny to watch them. Like my older nieces and nephews are like their personalities were so who they were when they were little. And one of my nieces she's like a big girl now, so she got her an upgrade from her crib to her big girl bed over the past couple days, and she has her favorite color is purple, so they painted her wall purple. And she hugged the wall because she was so excited, and it's so cute. And I've watched it like 100 times. So I know you guys think like I'm a big dark grumpy, and I am, but I do have moments where, it all has some real meaning. And and I love it because I had a purple wall in high school because I just like having color around me. My house is full of color now. I'm not one of those like gray millennials. So yeah, my nieces and nephews they're all amazing. They're also talented and incredible people. And they make me so happy. So that is what brings me joy at the moment. That was a very nice question. Thank you for the appropriate, sweet question. No, you can ask whatever you want, but just like the feet pics one, like let's just clear 700 questions with one answer. No, there are no feet pics available for sale. Sorry. But I do give free feet content. Like I really don't crop my feet out very often. So like I guess it's just free. It's there for you. I'm not gonna be like smashing whipped cream and strawberries and what do they even do? What do they do? Dirty feet? I heard they're into like the bottom of the feet more than like the toes. Is that it? Specs, why are you commenting so convincingly about this? We're not judging, okay? There's no kink. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna say there's no kink shaming around here. There are some kinks that I'm like, all right, you just maybe should see someone about this. Like, it is legal and consensual, but like the balloon thing, it's just, what is that? You never seen that? The people, they like get into these plastic things and then they suck all the air out of it, and you're just like you're in like, I'll show it to you. It's really crazy. Listen, if you're out there and that's your thing, like by all means, but like it is a little, it's a little, I'm not doing it. I'm just saying, like, if you want to do it and we cross paths, that's going to be a no for me, but to each their own, I guess, as long as you're not harming anybody else. Yeah, so that's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you subscribe and follow us on social media. Let us know who else you would like us to have on the show. And yeah, we love talking to you. Love hanging out. That's too personal.